Somebody asked me, he says, if you had $1 billion, would you buy a property for like $100 million? What would you do? You wouldn't? Why? You have $1 billion. Michael, will you buy it, right? You will buy it. Yeah. Huh? My investment. Would you buy the house? Yes or no? No. No, nobody. No, none of you. No, you won't either. You won't buy the house. Oh, you guys are cheap. Of course, I would not buy the house, but not because I'm cheap. So the guy says to me, "So why wouldn't you buy it?" This is like in the Wall Street Journal. It's like this property. I said, well, "Why would you buy it?" I said, "Very simple. I mean, regardless how big my house is, I sleep in one bed. Regardless how big my house is, I can sit only in one John at a time. I mean, what's the reason for it? What do I need it for? Honestly, what do I need it for? For the acreage? Okay, I mean, so let's say I buy myself a 10-acre. Okay, I mean, what am I doing with this all the time? What am I doing with all this land? Raising buffalo? What am I, Ted Turner? What am I going to do with this thing?" And then we don't think about those things, and many times we fantasize on those things. But it's not just buying a house for $100 million. It's everything that you do in your life. Did you ever bother stopping and saying, "Wait a minute, why am I doing this for? Why am I doing this for?" Look at the turmoil in which you're putting yourself into when you don't look at things that way. I want it. What do you want it for? I like the smell of fresh car in the morning, or a new car. Really? Get over yourself. Look at the society in which we live in. It's so noisy, labriyut. It's so noisy. It's so untranquil. And you want to find peace of mind like that? You keep on driving yourself crazy. We are loud people. We are inconsiderate. I was thinking the other day, why would anybody want to climb Mount Everest? I was just thinking about this. Why would anybody do that? What's the point that you have to go on top of this mountain to climb? You know how they're contaminating this mountain with litter that they throw, with empty cans of oxygen, with dead bodies. When they die, they just leave them there on the mountain. Why would you do that? What is that you need to prove? Okay, so you climb the mountain. Wow. Now what? Is that making you into a better person? What is that you need to prove all the time? When I was young, I used to see mountains. I said, I want to climb them. I was always, I want to go up. I don't want to do this anymore. I have respect for this mountain. It's awesome creation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had put in this world. If I want to conquer something, let me conquer myself. If I want to climb a mountain, let me climb the mountain on top of my arrogance and push it down. Why do I need to do these things? What is it that I need to prove all the time? Who am I proving what? To whom? I do believe it's basically a lack of self-fulfillment. That you need to prove all the time that you're better, that you're capable, and this and that and the other thing. So you ran a marathon. Okay, so what? Now, how does this make you into a better person? You did it. How does this make you into another person? I'll give you an example. The true martial artists, at the time, and maybe some today, if you want to become a student or disciple, they will not take you unless they first of all see that your character is right. In Japan, for example, one of the traits for a samurai, in China, of course, also, because they took it from there, a scholar, a samurai had to be a scholar. He had to be proficient not only in the art of war, he had to know calligraphy, he had to know poetry, he had to be something. Because otherwise you're just a killing machine. How do those things make you into a better person? My martial art teacher told me one time, the biggest battle that you're ever going to have with your life, the biggest sparring you're ever going to have in your life, is you're going to find the demon that live within you. That's the reason he said to me for martial arts. Not to fight other people, but rather to fight yourself with all the things that you have inside of you. And that's something that you have to think about. And that goes to everything that we do. If I have a shul, I want to build a bigger shul. Why? Because the other guy has a shul and he built it, so I need to be bigger than him. But you're not worrying about the content inside. As I said to you before, you're building mausoleums. You're not building house of prayer. I want to have the best this. I want to have the best that. People who, for example, cook. They watch a cooking show on the TV. They watch Gordon Ramsay. They watch I don't know whatever. They watch on Julia Child, whatever. All of a sudden, they have to buy the best knives. Everybody buys a global knife, which is like a fortune. They buy like a top-of-the-line knife. They don't even know how to hold the knife. They don't even know how to cook. But the best pots, the best knife, the best this, the best that. Why won't you strive to become the best yourself rather than have all the best things around you, which afterwards you don't really like, and you actually give it away, you throw it away. You don't know how to sharpen a knife. You don't know how to hold the knife. You don't know how to cut the knife. Besides, you should know it doesn't really make a difference to you. At your level, it doesn't make a difference. You don't have an appreciation for that. And appreciation comes not because by having things. Appreciation comes because getting to know things, investing in knowledge and learning. And this is how you reach your tranquility internally. The Sefer Charedim says the following: Ha'olam hazeh yam so'er. This world is a rough sea, is a stormy sea. Tzarich ledamot ha'adam beda'ato כאילו הוא שט בים. You need to contemplate and you need to think as you are now sailing the ocean. ולכן ירים ראשו למעלה, pick your head up, ליוצרו, to הקדוש ברוך הוא, ויזהר פן ייכנסו בפיו המים הזדונים. You have to be careful. So the rough water not going to enter your mouth, you're going to drown. וישמר מן הגלים הבאים לטורדו. And you have to watch out from the waves who are coming to sink you. You have to know how to navigate the waves, how to cruise, how to sail. We get our information from movies, which in the movies everything happens within an hour and a half, 2 hours, or if it's a TV series, they solve the most mysterious crimes in 45 minutes. And they do DNA testings and so on and so forth. I don't know what's the reason for that. I mean, maybe it is just to scare you, but it gives you a false illusion about how things are. We don't have this in the West. We don't have in the West the concept of what I told you a million times of Kung Fu, like learning a skill over a long period of time. We don't have that. We want everything quick. We don't want hard work. We want other people to work hard, but we don't want hard work for ourselves. And he continues saying, he says, Ben Adam, V'im lav, if you're not going to do so, damo berosho. If you're not going to watch out for what happens, the turmoils of the world, you better watch out. You're gonna play with it with your head. He says, Ben Adam, sukat shalom peros al roshcha ubetcha bechol oz vatokef v'alachta bedrachav. Put the spread upon your house and upon yourself sukat shalom. What is sukat shalom? What's a sukkah? Sukkah, a hovering, something that will cover you, like a tarp of protection over you, of harmony. Sukkah Shalom is sukkah of harmony in your house. How is you going to achieve this harmony? You're going to achieve this harmony by walking in Hashem's way. And the first thing to do in Hashem's way, Hatzna derech im Elokecha. You have to be humble. Humble with your clothing, humble with your furniture, humble with your house, humble with yourself, humble with your possessions, humble in your ways. If you are arrogant, that is not derech Hashem. And that's what happens to all of us. We are arrogant. I want the biggest one to make you jealous. I want to be arrogant. I want everybody to see. They call it in Arabic, shufuni anas. Look at me, people. Shufuni anas, that's what it is. Therefore, if you want to prevent yourself from this kind of a turmoil, if you want to prevent yourself from this kind of turmoil, if you want to prevent yourself from hard things that come to this world, don't make yourself into the target. Because when you are arrogant and you are big and you are you become the target. You are the first one that they're going to put the cross on. Be humble. Tsanua. Humble. Don't make a lot of noise. People will not pay attention to you, it will move on. But when you're making a lot of noise, when you're making a lot of clutter, people would look at you, and that's where your problem comes. That's how it is. And it says, "V'lachen gam ata tamid ta'aseh shalom." You always make peace. And he says, אשרי תמימי דרך ההולכים בתורת השם. אשלך יהבך על הקדוש ברוך הוא. Those who are תמימי דרך, they know the way of Hashem, that's it, לא אכפת לי. I don't want names, I don't want to be chief rabbi, I don't want to be assistant rabbi, I don't want to be the prime minister. I want to do whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to do. For this, that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu like. Ashrecha, lucky you, if you go b'derech Hashem. Don't fight with this one. He became the president of the shul. I'll become the president. I'll do whatever I can. זה לא דרכה של תורה. אשרי תמימי דרך, והשלך יהבך על השם, and put all you have on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Develop your emunah, which we said yesterday. People need to understand what emunah is, and I'll emphasize it again and again and again. Your emunah comes with the way, the measurement of your emunah, or your yirat Hashem, comes as a measurement of your emunah. And your emunah comes with how you stand in front of Hashem, which will only be determined by how much you love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you don't love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you can't stand in front of Him. You don't have yirah, you don't have emunah, you don't have nothing. You are there by yourself. You are lonely in this world. Lonely and alone. Because as I said to you, everybody would leave you. Everybody would leave you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu won't. But however, if you left HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you are there all alone. Now you want to know why there's so many miserable people in the world? It is because of that. You want to know why people live such extravagant lives? Is just because of that. When you have HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your life, there's nothing more you can have. You need. I have everything. I'm blessed. I don't need. You need to understand that. I have everything I need. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Melo kol haaretz kvodo. What does a person need more? Shabbat shalom shmulik. Salama. Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakat.
זה יום ראשון, זה מצווה.
דבר עם שימונוב.
חסד לעולם ייבנה.
דבר איתו. אני אדבר איתו, אני בלי להתקשר אליו ביום ראשון. בלי להתקשר אליו ביום ראשון. You understand? And And it says, הכוונה היא כמה זמן האדם מאבד בידיו לריק. A person needs to understand how much time does he spend of his life in vain בחושבו על ענייני עולמו ופרנסתו. How much I'm going to make plans, daydreaming about שטויות. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll build this, I'll build that. I'll go over there to Nordstrom, I'll put my hands like this, they're going to measure me. Yes sir, yes ma'am. People go to restaurants just so people can serve them. Believe me, I know of a person that told me, I said, why do you go to restaurants? It's like, I don't like restaurants. He says, you don't understand, it's not just the food, it's the people that serve me. I said, but if that's the case, that's only because you pay them. If you take this waiter, you won't even spit in your direction, if you don't pay him. It's a false illusion. You are wasting your life, Sefer Charedim says. And at the end, why? V'sof ha'adam lema lehevel, it's nonsense, akol shtuyot. It says, a person meharer u'mechashev u'mevatel zmano. A person makes all kind of calculation, all kind of speculation, manipulation, all the Asians he does. And you're wasting your time, ve'eno mashgiach, and he doesn't pay attention, ki yamav ketzel over. That your days are flying by faster than the speed of light. Be'od she'u mechashev u'meharer, instead of doing so, יחשב תחבולות של תורה. You need to make חשבונות. How would I going to learn more? What can I do to learn more, not to learn less? Why? Because this is what would lead you to Olam Haba. And that's what it says, Yesod HaMa'ala. This is how a person can elevate himself. Yakutz mitardemato לתקן את אשר עיוות. You need to wake up from your slumber and fix what is it that you ruined. What do you mean I ruined? I didn't do anything. That's exactly it. When you don't build, you destroy. When you don't maintain, it falls apart. You have a house that nobody lives in, it falls apart quickly. That is the rule. So if you have a house, which is your body, your neshama, you need to maintain it. Instead of wasting your time on nonsense, waste your time, quote unquote, spend your time on learning, on making yourself into a better person. That's another reason why we have a lot of divorces nowadays. People don't work on themselves. A guy goes to yeshiva, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, that's it, I'm done, I pay my dues for society, I don't have to open a book, I don't have to open a Sefer Musar, and so on and so forth. And they don't learn enough Musar in yeshiva. They learn what, 15 minutes a day, if at best? They should learn Tikkun HaMidot, to learn it 3 hours, a Seder Kavua, 3 hours Tilmat Musar, before you come to learn Gemara. What's the point of learning Gemara if you are crooked inside? If you're arrogant, and you're vain? Bishvil ma? Chaz v'shalom. Then you're going to destroy everything with the name of the Torah. Taken et midotecha. Fix your ways. Why is it called midah? Why those midot? He has good midot. What's a midah? Midah is a measurement. You're being measured according to your midot. You're being measured according to your traits, to your qualities, according to who you are. So your good midot would reflect on who you are as a person. So you need to work on it. You want it to be measured appropriately. And measured what? You also reward be'olam haba. Right? You measure with good midot, you have a big part. You measured small, you're small. That's it. Midah. Ketzad modedim lo la'adam. How do they measure to the person? Lefi midotav, according to his measurements. You want hardship? Bechavod. It's the way it is, Abotai. That's the way it is. So remember, listen to what we said today, and listen to what we said yesterday about Avraham Avinu, about the Nisyonot. Take this to heart. Pay attention. And don't waste your time. You only live once. You better do it right. Shabbat Shalom.